Okay.
Yeah.
Screen is recording. Now we go to Pivo. And I forget what it was called. Was it Pivo Play or was it something else?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember.
Or Pivo Track? I don't remember. I don't think that's it.
The Vivo Player 2 or something?
I don't know that this is it. Connect. Allow. Welcome Pivo. Okay. This is really frustrating. Please click back again to exit. Capture. I don't think this is it. I thought it was called Pivo Track.
What is this?
Can you Google it? Just
Yeah. What do you want me to Google?
what app is used for horse lessons for Pivo? This is so weird. I think it's got to be the Pivo Track.
Vivo Track. Yeah, it should have a lessons mode.
So add. Okay, video, lessons, connect, start, invite guest.
You got it then?
Yeah. Huh.
Not working?
Searching for face to track. Well, it's giving me the same red button as last time.
I don't remember what you did last time to make it work.
Oh, I hit the red button, but I don't remember. Why is it?
Is your Wi-Fi off?
There it goes. I think we're on.
Hey, Cameron, don't do
I think so. Oh, did I leave my gloves there? Yeah. Just wait to see and make sure. And it's tracking me, unlike last time.
Way.
Mm. Molly? Oh,
Hello.
good. Hi, good morning.
I trying to figure out everything. I
Oh,
had an update apparently. I had to do some different things to get it going here. There we
we're
go.
on the same page. I ignored the updates and couldn't figure out which app, couldn't remember which app.
Yeah, I saw you had two emails come through, and we got it.
Super. I think.
All right. So how's it been going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
What are some of the things you've been working on?
Um, Cameron, I don't know what we're doing. Um, for Girly and Mo, we've been working a lot on bending, bending from the body, um, releasing aids. So this is Cameron.
Yeah, I
He's
haven't
the
seen this one.
Yeah, he's the warm blood. His quick backstory. I bought him in 2019, and like unseen off of Facebook with a a bonus from the military. I was still in at that point. never had bought a trained horse before. I forget if he was 16 or 17 at the time. Came to us from Rhode Island. He was confirmed level 3, I think, and schooling level 4. And at that time, I went through like 3 different knee surgeries. So we started our journey together. And a couple of years later, I didn't know what I was doing. We were trying to confirm level 2, which Cameron was piloting. I could not tell you up from down, but we were trying, and that was back in like maybe 2021. And then started separating from that trainer. Then just started to enjoy Cameron. We went to the second trainer, and that's where we've been for the last year. And the second trainer, to give you a little bit of background, she's a retired veterinarian, and she would purchase her Grand Prix horses already trained from Germany, and she trains in Germany. She's very nice. She has no budget. I have a massive budget. I mean, like massive, meaning I have to be within my budget, and it's very small, is really what I mean.
Yeah.
So Cameron last winter, he had a keratoma. So he had a hoof wall resection, and that was like a 2 or 3 month recovery in the spring. And then he had a massive inflammatory response from all of the infection because he was just
Mm.
short of being septic. He was on IV antibiotics. So then he was on 3 weeks of steroids. He had so much swelling, he looked like a cow.
Yeah.
And then after that, he had a bout of choke, which we've never dealt with before. And so that was like 9 months last year, shot down the drain. Got to the end of summer, tried to go back into lessons with him with the retired vet, and she said, you know, Beth, you're going to have to do something totally different for his maintenance. And at that point, we were doing hock injections annually, an occasional equiox. So I did another round of injections, injected the stifles, we did x-rays, we did the gel um, in his hocks, I think, and put him on Pentacin. And I mean, and that was truly, that totally blew my budget out of the water. It's
Yeah.
taken me a year to recover. That was, like 6 grand in vet bills. Um, and tried to go back into lessons with him after all that. And she was just like, he's not there. Um, and mostly what she was seeing was like back end stuff. And sometimes my mom can see it, sometimes I can feel it. So we switched pastures. He was like on a little 1 acre pen, and now he's probably on 5 acres with a gelding and a mare. And I feel like he's moving better this winter. I've rode him some, kept it to like 40 minutes. So I'm sure today will be much shorter, but he feels good to me. His annual appointment's coming up in April, and so we'll do injections again. I'm totally open to any suggestions that you have. I think it would be amazing to show him just online. I truly don't know that he'll ever be like totally sound without equiox. I think those days are gone. I think him being in a trailer in a stall for
Yeah.
extended
Yeah.
periods, all of that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Um,
That's where
but
the online is such a great option because you get a window of time to make your video, and if he's not quite right that day, then you can do it a different day.
perfect.
Um, but his walk looks fantastic.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Something I learned between the first trainer to the second trainer. Um, he's a very smart school horse, and he will have me like kicking harder, and he goes slower and slower.
Hmm.
Um, so I spend a fair amount of time pulling my legs off and just trying to remember to relax and not use more muscle. But
Yep.
yeah, I'm super excited for any, yeah, for our lesson with him and your thoughts. Um, I did have a couple of other questions not related to Cameron that I could save till the end, or we could start out with them. It's totally up to you.
So if they're fresh on your mind, let's go ahead and do those. But while you're walking, maybe do some turning and, some little serpentines and kind of get him bending through his body a little bit. While you're talking, nothing complicated that takes your attention too much onto him.
Yeah,
But more than just walking straight lines, he's going to warm up a little bit more if he's bending and turning.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Um, I was curious about your the horse vacations or the horse packages or a set of like weekend lessons, and I'm not talking like in the next 3 months or this season because I know that you're switching gears, but I don't know what seasons are, hey, um, reasonable or kind of how far out you schedule and what that looks like.
I am super flexible. Sometimes people say, I'm sick, I can't ride for a while. Can I drop my horse off for a week? And I
Oh,
either have time or I don't.
yeah.
And most of the time, I'll take the horse. I get a lot of short time ones, people going on vacation, people taking their kids for college tours, having a problem in lessons, and they're like, I'm frustrated, can you just take my horse for a few days? So I get a lot of that. During the summer, when it's super, super hot, I try not to take ones that I have to do a bunch of riding.
Yeah.
For some reason, the phone has gone completely out of focus. It's got a sunspot over there
Oh,
um, on the ground, and it keeps catching that and getting funny with the focus. But right now, I can't even tell that you're a person on a horse. It's completely out of focus. So work your way to the other end of the ring and see
okay.
what happens. So that sunspot on your right is what I think we may have to avoid. It's
Um,
behind you now.
Rich, you could also film from there. You could move the barrel there, Rich.
Yeah, it still hasn't got you back in focus.
You could film from over there, Rich.
Can he hear me too? Yeah, so now you're back in focus.
Okay.
So there's some weird reflection that's on the bottom of the phone right now, and then over to your left, there's like a huge reflection that looks like it's from that triangle up in the top of the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so every time you go through that little triangle, you go out of focus for like 2 or 3 seconds. That was the first time you went out of focus for like a long time.
Okay.
So maybe stick to this side of that triangle until we're doing more. Like if you're trotting cantering, I think it'll be just such a quick blip. It won't be a big deal.
Okay.
Um, so I totally forgot what you were asking because I was like, I can't see you.
Oh, no, that's okay. Um, and Rich, I would really think it'd film better if you moved that way. I mean, it's okay to, yeah, to just get up and move. Um, I was asking about yeah, the lesson packages and you were,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So when it's super, super hot in the summer is the only time I don't really like taking a bunch of horses because the arena doesn't get done early enough for me to be able to get horses done before it gets miserably hot. Um, so, like July, August, and the first part of September is pretty much the only time that I don't like having horses come in.
okay. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. So
Um,
pretty flexible.
okay. And is there a website that we can, I know there's your website and I haven't looked around a lot to see like if there's plugins and stalls and pricing and all of that.
Yeah, so that would be on the Chaparosa website
Hey,
for the
come on.
barn, and we can send you an
Good boy.
email with her information. Um, but they, so it's kind of weird how it is there's dry camping, like no, you might have power, but no water
Okay.
on the Chaparosa site, but next door, and all of it used to be one property. So right next to the covered arena, there are RV hookups, full
Okay.
hookups, the whole shebang. And those ones do sell out really fast. And so those ones we encourage people, like in the spring, reserve your spot for the fall. But you can also just say, hey, do you have any availability for 5 days during the month of February? And they're going to. They're rarely full the entire winter. There's a lot of little gaps that happen throughout the winter if you
Okay.
wanted to do something shorter.
Okay.
Um, that's at the bar next door, which is um, Samantha Walker Performance Horses. And I'll send you her contact information also.
Okay.
And and then Chaparosa has casitas. So those
Okay.
are like little furnished apartments.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not know what that is.
Yeah, and I think those are expensive.
Okay.
I think they might be more than a hotel.
Eek.
Um,
We're
yeah, yeah.
we're on
So
a budget. It'll probably be
I
like dry
know.
camping and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you don't need, like you could drive over to a hose and fill up if you need more water.
Yeah.
But like we had one guy that he just has a portable black water, and so he could just dump into the portable one, and then
Mhm.
he pulled it up to the RV area and dumped. Or
Wow.
just sometimes he just took it home too. So there's
Yeah.
like some options there, but there's bathrooms and stuff. There's showers there, the whole thing.
Oh,
So you
perfect.
wouldn't have to use a ton of water. Um, so that makes it kind of nice. And that's something you would talk with Molly Ochoa at Chaparosa.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
So I
you.
can send you all of that stuff. Um, and yeah, like I said, everybody's really quite flexible about all of it. There's no like first to the first or anything like that. They're all vacation people that come in, and so the barn is set up for that.
Okay. Um, my other question, and hopefully this is a silly question that makes sense. Because I know that yeah, you ride Ted out, other um high level dressage horses and people, they ride out, they hack out, and I think I understand the difference of, actually I don't. The riding in the arena versus out of the arena, and I'm hearing the concepts and understanding the concepts of like making a horse dull and riding sloppy, but then finding the balance of, okay, your dressage horse needs to go out, he needs to do other things. So how does that affect my riding? I mean, I shouldn't ride sloppy, I shouldn't nag them, but I don't know that I understand the finer.
So what I do for my horse to understand the difference between when he's on trail horse time versus when he's on work for me time
Yeah.
is when I put the reins in one hand, my horse just needs to quietly maintain the gait that he's in. So if I'm
Okay.
walking, trotting, cantering, and I put the reins in one hand, he knows that he's in school horse mode. I might be working on my position in the arena, or I might be out on a trail ride.
Okay.
And he just has to maintain the gait that he's in. It's nothing about the frame. He doesn't have to be sensitive. But if I put the reins into two hands, it's like a switch turns and he wakes up, he lifts up his posture and he gets sharper and he goes to work. And so that's how I justify giving him a correction. If I put the reins in two hands, you need to wake up and get in front of my leg.
Yeah.
And if I have the reins in one hand, if I ask him to pick up the trot on the trail and I have to cluck and bump with my leg a little bit, I don't even think of it like a correction. I'm like, come on, honey, let's just trot up this hill a little bit. And they learn the difference really fast.
Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, they get to learn, like where you put pressure on them is usually in the arena.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're out on the trail, you don't tend to put a lot of pressure on them. But like I might get to something like um, when it rains here, it rains really hard. And so we get these water like ditches that will run through the trail. And he doesn't pay attention to those. So a lot of times I just put the reins in two hands as I come up to one of those, and he lifts his head up and he starts thinking, and he notices the ground. And he'll step over them. I put the reins back in one hand. And so they do get really sharp like that. So if I need him to pay attention to open and close a gate or go over a log because I feel like he's zoning out, I can just put the reins into two hands.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I've done that. All my horses have had to trail ride. As a child, I had to trail ride almost an hour to get to a riding lesson, and then have my lesson and trail ride home. So yeah. So the horses have always had to be really good out on the trails, and yeah, they just go to work when I shorten my reins and put them back together. Okay, so we got to get him a little more warmed up, right? Because he's
Right.
starting to get too much into trail ride mode himself.
Yep.
And so, especially with the older horses, he's what, 24?
I think so. Yeah, like 23 or 24. He's, yeah,
Yeah, I was
2001
kind
or
of
2.
doing, yeah, I was kind of doing your math on it. I was like, boy, he's probably like around 24 years old.
Yeah.
So it takes a little longer physically and mentally for them to get motivated, right?
Yeah.
And so these are actually the horses that we do a lot of trail riding with, because gradual hills are a great way to stimulate them mentally and physically, get them working a little bit harder without it coming so much from you. But, you know, just like people, as we get older, we tend to be a little bit less motivated than, you know, like you look at like a little kid, they just run, sleep, run, sleep. And the horses, yeah, there you go. The horses get a little bit quieter as they get older as well. And so something that I think of is in the walking, like there you're kind of driving, pushing, and he's not maintaining.
Yeah.
So start having him do little joggy steps. So you'll tap with your legs and you'll clock and just have him break to a trot for a couple of steps. Yeah, like right there, just break into a little trot for a couple steps.
Good boy.
And walk. Nope, don't go posting. That's more than a couple steps. Don't pick up a trot. So what you're trying to do is create some impulsion, and impulsion doesn't exist in the walk. And so, like, do it again right there. Just sit on him and just tap with your leg and cluck. It's not the same as a trot aid. And then just, he needs to walk again. That's too much trot. 2 steps, 1, 2, and he'll be walking again. So don't ask for a trot.
Gotcha.
You're telling him, buddy, where's your impulsion? So this is actually a correction.
Okay.
So very light, quick taps with your feet. Tap, and cluck with your tongue. Tap. I want to see your feet shake. There you go. And then just sit. There, good boy.
Good boy.
Yeah. And then do that again, because he just dropped the neck too much, like trail horse mode. Tick with your leg and cluck with your tongue. Tick. You're asking too much like a trot still.
Okay.
You're giving him a little kick and a squeeze. Like, think of like a fish on a dock. It's going to flop around, but it doesn't hurt itself. Yeah, it's still too much leg. You're still asking him to pick up a trot. Just shake your toes. Don't even contact him. Just make a little shakety shake and yep. And then there. That's all he has to do. 2 steps. He just has to create a little impulsion when you do something with, yep, that's too much trot. And all these little tiny transitions start to kind of wake up his brain and wake up his body and warm him up a little bit. Like, see, you have that little tiny hop. So let's shorten your reins so you don't have to pull backward on him. I'd rather he run into your hand than you say, wake up behind legs and then pull backwards and say, oh, no, I need you to walk.
Okay.
Right? We don't want to tell him he did the wrong thing. So we want to feel a little bit more like he runs into your hand, and that's going to help him start warming up a little more. And then maybe a little bit of extra bend before you do it, so that he's more likely to come into the hand and not keep trotting. Yeah. There you go. And then see, he'll just stay walking. So when you feel them start to lean onto your hand, or you feel the urge to want to push him to walk on, is when you want to do these little jiggy joggy steps. And I'm telling you, with the older horses, that is like the best thing you can do to help them get warmed up. So now do a little tiny leg yield off of your outside leg. That's fine. He goes, oh, your leg, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then look how great that walk feels.
It
There you
does
go. And
feel
then
better.
straight. Yeah. And new bend in your corner. We're going to do the little leg yield thing a couple of times. Yeah, good
Um,
walk.
Molly, it sounds silly. Both trainers have said, like, oh, he speaks German. The first trainer had me trying to ride off the calf. The second one off the spur. I don't know if it matters.
I don't think it matters either. So I have a student that she's been riding with the same person for a long time, and she knows nothing, and her horse feels like a trail horse when I got on him the first time. And I said to her, I was like, you've been speaking to this horse in Latin, and now we need to teach him German, just throwing languages out there, and like, and we just have to change how you communicate to him because it's just not working. Like everything
Yeah.
she did, he would stop, he would wring his tail, he would pull her reins out of her hands. And I'm like, you just have to start using a different language. And so I really feel like none of us are trying to reinvent the wheel. And definitely the horse has a preference of where they want your aid and how they want your aid. But the problem is the rider also has limitations to how and where they can use their aids. And so you have to find your own. Did you see that movie Spanglish? Spanish and
Oh,
English, right? You
yeah,
have to find
yeah.
your own Spanglish, right? You have to kind of blend the languages together in a way that both parties are happy and can understand each other. So if you give an aid and he doesn't respond to you, you could try altering the aid a little bit, but yelling the aid louder at him is probably not going to make a change.
It definitely does not on him, and it took me a lot of years, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Let's do that little leg yield toward the center. He doesn't have to go far. You just want to see, are you responsive and supple off this left side? No, he slows down. So jiggy joggy trot a couple steps. I want to hear you cluck. Look up, buddy. Come. Yep, there you go. And then walk. And then your little couple leg yield steps again. You can do it right there on the short wall. There we go. Good. And straight ahead. And then new bend, and then your corner. You can go a little farther down. The green tractor, I think, can be in front of you. One more post in the arena.
Okay.
Perfect. Right? So when you had asked him to leg yield and he chose to stop, your thought shouldn't be, oh, honey, keep walking, or let's go back walk. Your thought should be, I need impulsion.
Okay.
There's no impulsion in the walk, so those little trot steps. So we'll make that little leg yield again because this is a great way to warm them up in the pelvis. Now cheeky jog a couple steps, cluck and shake your feet. Don't kick so hard because you're not trying to pick up a trot, right? Just
Right.
literally just kind of shake your toes like you're trying to tap the girth with your stirrup iron. And also cluck when you do it. So if you're doing a groundwork with him, you
Uh-huh.
should cluck and use a whip at the same time that he starts to associate the cluck with moving his feet. So the little leg yield. That one's better. You feel him get a little rounder in the withers
Hmm.
and turn that into a turn on the forehand.
Back into the left.
So that you'll change your direction. So you'll move them
Okay.
off of the left leg with left flexion. That was a walk through it. We want to turn on the forehand. So left flexion, same aids as the leg yield. Flex him toward the camera and move his haunches out.
Flex him
Front
towards
leg
the
stays
camera.
front. Yep. Front leg stay still. Hind legs walk around the front legs. Okay, so he's really slow. So jiggy jog a couple steps. Go toward the corner post there. Trot a couple steps. Yep, and now turn on the forehand. Use the turn on the forehand to bring him back to walking. Don't go posting. We're not picking up a trot. Okay, turn the forehand off the left leg. The leg yield off the left leg, so we're trying to just connect that and turn the forehand. Now just 2 little trot steps toward the mounting block. See it? Mounting
Yeah.
block. The mounting block. Turn left. Yes, and walk and turn on the forehand. Right there. Turn on the forehand. Connect the exercise. Yes, there you go. Good. Yes, good boy. Keep turning until we're going the other way. Right rein, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. We're reversing your direction from where we were starting. There you go. And then jiggy jog a couple steps. Stick with the leg. Don't kick. Shake your leg and cluck. Yep. There you go. Yep.
Post.
Don't go posting. I know, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Bend him so that he chooses to walk. Bend him more. Bend him more. More. Bend. Bend more. Yes. Good boy. And then we'll make the little leg yield this side. Go where? Yeah. Okay, flex them a little more to the right. And then jiggy jog a couple of steps. Just keep the right bend and shake your feet. You don't even really have to touch them. And cluck when you shake your feet. Yeah, that's it. That's all he has to do. That's it. That's it. No more.
Okay.
He just has to break the walk rhythm.
Got
He has to get
okay.
out of the dullness. So the little leg yield again. So when you ask him to step under with the hind leg, you feel him slow down a little because he goes, oh, that's really hard. So you do your little jiggy joggy steps. Good with your leg. Yep. And walk. That's it. Yeah, and then a couple little leg yield steps. Yep. And then a little jiggy jog again. Yep, there you go. And then a little leg yield. And he'll get to the point where just you cluck once and he'll go, oh, I'm moving. There it is. There it is. Good boy. And straight ahead. And then do the turn on the forehand. Yes, good for you. Turn a little early so you can do a turn on the forehand. It'll be away from your right leg. So you'll make right flexion first. It's the same as what you just did. Did you ask him to help? You did say, oh. Yeah. That's fine. Good. Good. Yep, and then jiggy jog because he started stopping again. Make sure you cluck. Yep, and bend. Yep, bend. There you go. So if you do a whole bunch of those little joggy steps, good boy, when you're in your walking, your first trot should be pretty easy because it's not really your first trot, right? So it's a good way to make a horse a little bit more sensitive to the go so that you don't feel like you have to be thinking about, now, how am I going to get him to trot? Because now he's all lazy from walking around. He needs to walk around to start bending his joints and start getting warmed up, but he needs to also wake up. There's your walk. You feel him lifting his shoulders a little bit? Knees are coming up a little more? Yeah,
yes.
Good boys. Yeah, good. So when you're ready, let's go into your trot. And we're just going to do that exercise where you do the corners. And you're going to do a down transition before the corner. And then you're going to bend him. You're going to go through the corner. And then you're going to trot again. So you're going to have 4 straight trots and 4 walking corners.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we have the little hop, which says he's behind the leg. So then you walk. You get a little extra bend. You can go a little farther down the ring. That sun shadow thing might be moving a little bit. Yep. And then walk. And then bend. And trot now. And the hind leg is in the corner. Because that's where he's the slowest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just before the corner of the walk. And then the bend. And the trot before you fully exit. Now. Yeah. That's it. And we do these until the hop goes away. The hop is there because he's pulling more than he's pushing. That's a little better, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he had a little bit of a feeling like he was turning to the middle of the arena, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit extra inside leg to get him to go. Yeah, that was better. He could have a little more bend, but I like that he kept the line. Okay. There you go. Okay, so not this corner, but the following corner, slow down instead of walking. The normal trot, and then think, can I trot really slow and get him bending? And then can I trot on coming down the long wall? There you go. And you can go posting, right? Because we're trotting now. So slow down, bend, go forward. I want to see 2 different trots. Slow down, bend, and go forward. So he's not really bending so well, is he?
Nope.
No. So you might need to walk if you feel like you didn't get him yielding to the bending aids, okay? If staying in the trot is going to make him not bend, then he should walk instead.
Okay.
Yeah. Get your bend, right leg, right rein. Yes, and trot. That's good. Don't wait for him to be straight to pick up the trot. We want to bend, we want to trot when his inside hind leg is still in the corner. Yeah, there we got a little rounder on that. And look how easy he came to bend. So he starts learning that you got to put a little weight back on your hind end to make a quarter, because he's not going to warm up if you don't put him in the position he needs to be in.
That makes sense.
Right? Yeah. If you wait for him to warm up, he'll wear out before he'll start using his body. So you have to do things to help him use his body. So this next one, you'll come across a diagonal line to change your direction. And then we'll do the same thing the other way. Lovely trot. Now he's not perfect behind. You know, there is a little not lifting the hind leg up evenly, but he doesn't look uncomfortable. And you just started trotting. That's it. Bend before the corner, slow down before the corner, trot as you exit the corner. Go.
Okay.
Don't wait for him to be straight. See, because then you got another corner like right in front of you, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you want to do the down transition while you're still going straight ahead. Like you could walk now if you wanted to. And then you want to get the bend before you ask him to turn. As soon as he starts turning, you trot. Okay. Yeah, see, then you get the hop because the hind leg goes, oh, wait a minute, I have to push. Trot now. Yeah. But see, once you get on the straightaway and you ask him to trot, do you feel how he gets longer before he trots? Yeah, he does that so he can pull with the front legs. Yep, that one's still too late. You see how he took more strides before he actually went? Trot earlier. I know there's a little delay in the audio, so I want you to trot before he's turned all the way to this camera. Yeah, good for you. That was the timing, okay? And then you see how he struggles with that one, right?
Yeah.
Really early. Go. Yeah, who cares if you're on the wrong side of it? Exactly. Yeah, but that's how you're going to get him to start using that hind leg and warm up a little bit more. Motion is lotion. And so what happens, so I learned this like myself. I was noticing that when I was walking, I could hear my heel make a little drag sound on the ground.
Oh.
And yeah, and I didn't realize it. I had a little bit of swelling in my knee, and that's beautiful. And so I wasn't bending my knee much. And so then I started bending my knee, and I was like, oh, I don't bend my knee because my knee actually hurts when I bend it. I didn't realize that. So then I started focusing with a mirror on the treadmill on lifting my feet the same height. And after a couple of weeks, it didn't hurt for me to bend that knee anymore. And I had ongoing knee problems since I was in my early 30s. Like they wanted to replace my knee. I broke the bone right up in the joint. So I've got a free floating thing in there. That's beautiful there. And so, you know, I learned that if I don't move the joint, it gets swollen. That was good. Go across the diagonal on this one.
Okay.
So I learned that it's okay, it doesn't matter. So I learned that if I move the joint, I keep the swelling out of the joint. If I keep the swelling out of the joint, my joint feels much happier. And so I really found with the horses that if they're a little stiff feeling, but they don't get worse when I work them, then I need to get them to really bend their joints. Yeah, we need more bend this direction. And if he's got a little arthritis in the hocks, I can guarantee you he's got a little arthritis in the neck, and a little arthritis in the back, and a little arthritis in the shoulder. So you got to get, there's your bend. You see it?
Yeah.
So you got to get him to use all parts, okay? And if he's okay to trot through those corners, start trotting through those corners. Oops, we have a hop because he was struggling with the hind leg being in the corner. So when that happens, I want you to do a second transition to a more forward trot.
Okay.
So take the trot he gives you. That one was pretty good. Okay, so if you make your first transition from walk into trot and you go, oh, that was a hop or he was stiff, then just do a little lengthening. Just say, hey, honey, where were your hind legs? Get your bend before the corner. Get your bend. Get your bend. That was your bend in the corner at the moment he should have started trotting. Right? And it's close together. It's quick. Yeah, more bend. We should trot before he gets to that cone. Yeah. See, the cone he was already going straight ahead, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got the little hop, so he needed the little lengthening.
I should be riding a couple of strides ahead, and I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Anticipate it.
Yeah.
Bend and go, and go, 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 forward, go, go, go. See, you're waiting till you exit the corner.
Yeah.
We want to use the hind leg in the corner to make the trot transition. Bend before the corner. Ask for trot as you start the turn. Yes. See, because it takes him a step or two to respond to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we want him to actually trot while he's, yes. Did you feel the hind leg?
I felt
That
that.
was fun. Yeah. He had a really good hind leg, so that was super. Okay, so now we're going to add to the pattern. And if you can stay trotting, try to stay trotting. Just slow the trotting for the corner. And then on your long walls, you're going to do a counter bend. Okay, so a counter bend. Yeah, good boy. Now look how much he's bending. That's how much he should bend when he goes in the corner. So then the new bend before the corner. That was in the corner.
So bend before the corner.
Yeah. And accelerate out of your corner. Yep, accelerate. And now counter bend. Good. That looks good. Now true bend. Slow down a little. Forward out of the corner. Yes, good girl. Always accelerate as you're exiting. When you're in the apex of the corner, he needs to accelerate.
Okay.
And then counter bend. Yeah, now back to true bend. And if he's not bending, before you start turning, do a down transition. Don't be going into the corner creating bend.
Okay. Oh.
Okay? Because this is quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is he bent to the right? Yes or no? Good for you. Yeah, slow down and give yourself enough time to get him bent to the right. Yes, good girl. Yeah, get him bent. Yes, forward when his hind legs are in the corner. Yep, and now counter bend. Yes, and now true bend. Do not turn until he's bent. Do not turn until he's bent. Yes, good. And now trot. Turn and trot. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yep. It's hard, right? You have to raise your standard a little bit. I'm not going to let you start turning because I pull on the inside rein. I'm going to bend you, and then I'm going to turn you with the outside rein. And that counter bend on the long wall just helps him get a little bit more supple.
Totally missed that one.
It's okay. Go across the diagonal. Yeah. Warming up, huh?
Yeah. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
We can go across the diagonal and do this the other way when you're ready.
Okay.
What is the temperature there?
This morning it was in the 20s when we came down, but I mean it warms up so quickly. It's got to at least be in the, above freezing at this point.
Wow.
Hey, come on. All right.
All right, so we'll just head the other way. I'll do the same thing the other way. He's not allowed to go through the corner if he's not bent before the corner. You don't want to bend and turn at the same time.
So bend before the corner.
Yeah. So if that means you have to walk or halt to get the bend, don't enter that corner without bend. Yeah. And trot. Go, go, go. Come on, buddy. All right. Don't worry about it. You don't have a lot of time to like change when you get the wrong diagonal. You don't have a lot of time to address that. So just stay on the wrong diagonal and plan that your next corner will definitely be a walk. Because if you're not turning on the wrong diagonal, it doesn't matter. He doesn't know it's the wrong diagonal.
Okay.
We know it's the wrong diagonal. So the reason we did an incorrect diagonal is because the inside hind leg isn't pushing to give us the biggest beat to get up on that shoulder. That was nice, huh?
It feels better.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Good bending. Okay.
Sorry, Cameron.
Yeah, so you can start adding the counter bend on your long wall. So one of the things I love about this exercise, I do it on 5-year-olds and I do it on 30-year-olds, is you're not turning with any speed, right? All your turns are slow, aren't they?
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, so it's really easy on them, and you're doing a lot of transitions, and so you're getting them a lot stronger through their core. That's good. And look how free the walk is. And the more you're trotting, the better he looks behind. And so I think you just have a little bit of he's a little stiff, and the vet will probably find something, because when you flex a horse, you'll always find more than what you see when you don't flex them. And usually by the time we see something, they're about a 2 out of 5. But what we see is pretty mild, and it goes away with exercise. So you could talk with the vet about doing the equiox, maybe 10 days on and 5 days off, and do that for a couple of months, and then have him recheck if he wants to inject something, because he's pretty darn good. I don't know that I would want to inject this horse.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem doing injections, but as they get older, if I can get them loose without the injections, I'm really happy with it. Usually what we see in the younger horses is they have a problem and we can't solve the problem with the exercise, and we have to inject them.
Oh, that's
Your
awful,
exercise is solving the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you may just need a little bit different tailored type of exercise to keep them really comfortable. That's it. Yeah, don't worry about that. So you lost a little bend in the trot transition. So as you go forward, make sure he maintains bend. Good for you. Yeah. So the right bend is just a little harder for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he tilts his head a little bit when you do the right bending, and it doesn't matter which direction you're going. So that's about the neck, it's not about the hind leg. So if the right bend bothered him going right but not going left, that's usually about the hind leg, because your position isn't changing if you just do a counter bend. But his bend to the right in both directions, he tilts and he moves his mouth a little bit. And so that's probably more his neck than it is his legs.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then also thinking about that, injecting the legs won't fix the neck. Right? So we have to make the neck more comfortable, and you'd be surprised if you make the neck and even the back more comfortable, the legs get better too.
That makes sense.
And across the diagonal. I think he looks great right here. He looks really comfortable. He looks really even. He looks really fluid. So we're going to do stay in the trot and make a circle 20 meters somewhere.
Okay.
Anywhere you
I'll
want.
go ahead and stay on this end.
And now what I want you to think about on the circle is, can he trot bigger, like a little lengthening? He doesn't have to hold it. When you ask for a lengthening, does he do a lengthening? Tiny bit, huh? He got longer, flatter. So now think about the roundness. Think about the bending. Think about the roundness. There you go. And then ask for a little bit of a lengthening again. And again, he doesn't have to hold it. He just needs to give you the burst of energy like he wants to do a lengthening. Did you feel it?
Yeah, that feels
Right?
better.
Yeah. And then get a little more bend and a little more roundness again. And ask for a lengthening. Attaboy. And across the diagonal and do a lengthening. Oh, good boy. What a good boy.
So nice when
Yeah.
it feels good like this.
Yeah. And we'll do a circle 20 meters this direction. The
Okay.
light's still good down there.
I'll move down to the other circle.
Yeah. Let's go up to the middle of the ring. There you go. Just because I don't trust the light. That's perfect. Okay, and the same idea. Think about the roundness first. Think about the turning. When you like where he is, like there he looks really good. So when you like where he is and you ask for the burst of power like a lengthening, and we just need a few steps. We lost the bend. Did you feel the shoulders go off to the outside?
Yeah.
So step left, hands left, because impulsion always makes him more straight. So when you ask for impulsion, you have to keep the turning. Yep. Bend a tiny bit more. There you go, that much bend. See, he gets a little light sometimes in your right rein, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops. And then a little lengthening, burst of power. Wake up, buddy, go back to work. Did you do it? There you go. And then work on the bend again. Work on the roundness. There you go, and another little lengthening. Give me power, where you at? Oh, there's your trot. That's your trot right there. And then across the diagonal line from E and do a lengthening. So you have to bend him a little extra. Stretch up, go. And then new bend, new diagonal, new direction. That's it, and straight ahead. And then a little shoulder in. Chin up, hands to the inside. Okay, so did you move the shoulder over?
A little, but not.
Yeah, not enough. Point him toward the out gate. So you've got on your left side over there, there's a big door that comes up.
Yeah.
A, C, I can't see the letters, A or C.
Yeah.
So as you come through the corner, point him toward A or C. And when he takes a step toward that letter, do your half halt to make your shoulder in. Yeah, there you go. So down the long wall.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to make that shoulder in. Nice trot. Look how thick the base of his neck is. There you go. So he should want to drift to the middle of the arena in the shoulder in, just like he did. Okay, he should follow his nose, and then you make your half halt to take him on the rail. You don't use more right leg, you make a half halt. Yep, and if he's too slow, you do a little lengthening. Don't accept the walk. You didn't ask for a walk.
Okay.
You didn't ask for that. Trot, come. Right? A half halt doesn't always have to mean change your gait. So point him toward A or C.
Okay.
I don't know, I can't read the letters, so point him toward the center line, and then you make a half halt once he turns off the rail a step. Yeah, and then half halt, like a rein back aid. Yeah, point him toward A or C.
Yes.
Yeah, right? You have to turn him.
Fine.
Yeah. Oh, easy buddy. Easy buddy.
Fine, little guy.
Yep, take your time. Okay, so you almost think you're gonna make a diagonal that goes toward A, whatever letter that is. Yep, just get out of that corner. Don't circle again in that corner.
Okay.
Something is bothering him in that corner. He comes off the aids, so don't show him he can be off the aids.
Gotcha.
Next time you go down there, cut that end of the arena off by a little bit. Okay, and then go forward. More trot. And then turn like you're going to make a diagonal line to C, whatever it is. I don't know the letters. Turn him. Yeah, turn. Yeah, you just turned his neck. There you go. Yes, and then you make a little half halt when he tries to leave the rail. Yeah, there. Both reins half halt, like a rein back. Now turn early. Don't go all the way in the scary corner. Yeah, he says there's a lion in the den over there. So you say, okay. And you just turn a little early, and then he gets to trust in you. There you go. Now go more forward. Yes, there. That's your shoulder in. Feel it?
It feels pretty good.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
change your direction, and we'll do just a couple of those the other way. That's lovely, huh? You
Yeah.
have to really think that the shoulder has to come off the line. So you have to turn the horse like you're going across the diagonal, not the full diagonal, not like HXF, but like you're going toward A. And then as soon as he leaves the rail a little bit, you make your half halt that says, oh, here's our line right there. It is. Feel it? That's your shoulder in. That's your shoulder in. Turn again toward A. Yeah, turn again toward A. Turn left. There you go. Now half halt. Half halt. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, that was hard.
It is.
Yep. Yep. And it's both reins the half halt, like you want them to back up. And it's a light aid, but it's a frequent aid. You turn towards C, and then you go back onto the hind leg. That's it. That's it. And forward. Catch that earlier. When you feel them slowing down, just go trotting. Just go big forward trot. It's not about the shoulder in. Yep. A half halt. Back up on your hind leg. Now forward, please. And then back up onto your hind leg. And now forward, please. And now back up onto your hind leg. Yeah. And then forward, please. And then a walk transition. So I think of the horse as like a slinky dog, like from Toy Story.
Yeah.
The slinky dog.
Yeah.
They have a slinky in the middle of their body. So when you put a horse in the shoulder in, they have to be really compressed and put their weight over the inside hind leg. And they go, well, this is really hard work. So they stretch out like the slinky dog. When they stretch out, their front legs go to the middle of the arena.
Okay.
So what most people do is they put their inside leg on and they push the horse sideways to the wall. So imagine a slinky, if you push it in the middle, it's just going to bend more. You didn't change the path of travel of either of the legs. So now you have a horse that's just bending really far.
Right.
So what we want them to do is load the hind leg. So if you turn toward the middle, like you're making a diagonal line, and then you tell them back up, you keep the slinky from stretching out. You keep the slinky compressed. And then they will hold their line. So a horse that stays too close to the wall in a shoulder in is behind the leg. They need impulsion. The horse that's leaving the wall in the shoulder in needs a half halt. A horse that's staying on the wall in the shoulder in is going down the wall crooked. They're not in a shoulder in.
Okay.
Okay. When we ride a shoulder in, we're constantly, because we ride it with so much impulsion, we're constantly having to make both reins, both thighs, full core, rein back, half halt. Stay back up here, stay back here, stay back here. We don't push them sideways. All the books say your inside leg is at the girth and the outside leg is backward. That does not mean you're pushing with your inside leg. If you want impulsion, you use both legs with your legs in the bending position, but you're using both legs for impulsion. And you're using both reins for collection. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So I do have a YouTube video on the Wake Up the Walk, the little jiggy joggy steps.
Super, okay.
Yeah, and I do it on Ted, and he's really good at it. And then I do have a video on the shoulder in.
Oh, good,
and
good.
Yeah. So try and find those ones, and those will help clear that up a little bit. Because a lot of times when you see it off the horse, it's a little bit easier. And then I think Amelia has some good shoulder in ones as well.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she has to have shoulder in ones. She's got everything else. I'm sure she's got shoulder in ones, and all her videos are amazing.
They are, and she's got some really good. I hadn't come across anything that was as descriptive as what you had just talked about, which was very helpful about, what to do as far as coming off the wall, staying on the wall, both legs, both reins.
Yeah.
So that's very helpful.
Yeah. And that's just the difference in, I've done this for 25 years more than her. So you just run into more people that need more explanation of it. They need, and so I just go with the assumption that everyone doesn't know this because I didn't know it. My first 3 times through the Grand Prix, from training level to Grand Prix, I didn't know that. And so I wouldn't expect anybody else to know it. So I always just go with the assumption that this is going to be new information for almost everybody.
Thank
And
you.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and then that way it also gives you things to think about. Like the shoulder in, the horse should be traveling forward, and they should be traveling toward their nose. Well, if their nose is pointed to the middle of the arena, shouldn't they want to go to the middle of the arena?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So if you don't have the feeling that he wants to go to the middle of the arena and the shoulder in, then he's probably just crooked going down the rail, inside leg, inside rein, instead of feeling like I've turned and sent him forward and now I have halt to maintain my line of travel. We have a 3-minute countdown going.
Makes sense. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
That was awesome. I hope I did everything correctly and that we were able to record again. I didn't ask last time. A lot of times, just for my own personal storage, I upload my lessons to my own YouTube
awesome.
channel. Is that okay with you?
No problem at all.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
I have zero problem with that. Yeah, and I don't even care if you share part of it. I pretty rare I say something that I wouldn't want repeated. I'm sure if someone could mix something together and make it sound like I said something bad, but I always try to think about the horse and the rider and try not to overdo things. I do want you to notice we didn't do much as far as walk break
Yeah,
because we walked so much in the corners. And
gotcha.
I find also with the older horses, you give them a break and they have to kind of rally to go back to work.
Yeah.
And so I try to feel like through the work, they're having moments to relax a little bit. And
Okay.
as you get better at this, you're going to feel like you do 5 or 10 minutes of this. And then it's like, wow, that was really good. Let's move on, or let's do some walk work and let him have a little bit of a break, but not like a full letdown like he's getting right now.
Yeah.
But take the heart rate down, let the brain relax a little bit, but maybe work on free walk, medium walk, or your turn on the forehands or something, then go right back on to work. So a
Makes
little
sense.
different with the older horses. It's kind of like how we do the young ones. Once you get them working, you just keep going until they're done, and then you walk forever. You cannot do enough walk on an old horse. And if you can do poles, that's even better too.
He loves poles, which is really funny. Um, yeah.
Yeah, anytime you can even just pull out a single pole and say, I'm going to walk a 10-meter circle over this pole every time I take a walk break. That would be
Okay.
really good for them. Yeah,
I could
yeah.
do that.
All right, we got 45 seconds. So if there's any other questions you think of, just feel free to email them. I don't mind that at all.
Sounds great. Thank you, Molly. And
Yeah,
I'll
all right.
bug you next week for more dates.
Yeah, I have my coach here next week, so next week's a little funny, but I think I'm going to have some time Thursday and Friday.
Okay. I can't remember what
Yeah.
days I work, but I'll look.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Stay
Thanks.
warm.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Molly.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know how to stop this thing.
you should just be able to hit the button.
Oh, now I hit the button. Now it says invite guest.
Okay, it's all right.
So I just hit this.